What is up? Here we go again with Fit Over 40. I just wanted to say the the first episode I did of this was more than what I expected because I literally just put it on my Facebook page, and it was mainly for people who I have been, we've been talking over the years about, things that I'm going to be talking about, and and really, the real reason I started is for myself because I knew putting this out there would motivate me to get where I wanted to be. And really, the story about how I really got started, like although talking to cousin Marcus did started and having a lot of conversations did started. It was really me walking by the mirror, getting in the shower, and looking like, oh no, that can't be right. There was definitely something wrong with my mirror. It needs new batteries or something because that can't be right. That's not me. But but really that's why I got started. It wasn't about money, and I have no intention on monetizing this page at all. But if it happens, I'm not going to turn it down. Come on. But anyway, I just want to give comment of the week had to go to Hollywood Core. He basically made the comment that um, and anyway, I just wanted to know a couple of things because in doing this video and other videos that I plan on doing, I wanted to keep my videos like between 5 to 10 minutes. But I know certain subject matters, including this one today, which I'm going to split up into two, um, is going to be more than 10 minutes. I don't want to make it extremely long because people don't want to be sitting there for 30 minutes, listening to me talk and stuff. But I just want to know, like, is the 5 to 10 minutes a good one because it's enough to say what I need to say, get it out, and anyway, I just want feedback and any other ideas that I talk about. And also today, my what I'm gonna be talking about is essentially diet. Um, I wanted to. It was a couple of things I wanted to do, like show how I do. But I'm in my office, but I'm probably gonna dub this in somehow. But talking about diet is really the biggest thing when it comes to your weight. Obviously, if you want to shape yourself, you're going to want some type of physical exercise. But to get your weight where you want to be, you're going to need to eat right. So I'm gonna start off by talking about water because your water drinking water is really, really, really important. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you don't know, I'm telling you, you need to drink water. Now, how much you drink, um, it really depends on who you ask. Obviously, I think your weight has something to do with it because, at the weight I am now, if you're 130 pounds, you don't need to drink as much water as I would. In addition to that, if you're 350, you may need to drink more water than what I'm drinking. So it's a matter of what you want. And I have looked up a few things because I knew that, but I wanted to see what is the guideline for drinking water. Here, as you can see, it says essentially drink a gallon of water, and this other one says drink between a half ounce and an ounce for every pound that you weigh. Um, okay. Now, another thing I want to point out is when it comes to diets, I'm going to talk more about specific diets, next week. But when it comes to diets, eliminating certain things. Now, when I say this, I do want to point out I'm talking about for weight. Now, if you want to eliminate certain foods for religion, or you just think it tastes disgusting, whatever, then that's not what I'm talking about. But for losing weight, you do have to understand eliminating something because a lot of some things your body actually needs. I do want to point out, one big myth. Like people think you need meat for protein. You can get a lot more protein from things other than meat. And again, I'll go over that next week. But that's something that I hear a lot of people talk about. I actually had this conversation yesterday about that. So I do want to get rid of that, but I think eliminating certain foods, like you should cut down on certain things. And the things I do think you should eliminate is anything processed, and, um, and like refined sugars and things like that. So, and what I mean by that is basically eat real food. And that sounds very, I don't know, overly basic, but eat real food, because a lot of times when you're buying food in a restaurant, you're okay. First of all, understand this: when you eat out, you're eating at a business. A lot of businesses do things to make profits. I mean, well, the goal is to make profits, but they'll do things, to the food to benefit themselves. Like, for instance, Taco Bell's meat. And I'm using Taco Bell as an example. I shouldn't have said a name, but I'll throw it out there now. But their meat is 97% fillers. Now that means it's 3% meat. A lot of meat that you eat, including that you buy from the grocery store, is not, like they'll make things that have the same texture as meat. It'll taste like meat, look like meat. They'll add food colorings and things to make it the right color, because a lot of things that you eat is not real. And like some things that you eat is real, like certain fish. Like they'll put little pink dye in it to make it look like fish, because if it was the color that is like being brown or sometimes literally black, you would not want to eat it. It doesn't look appealing. And even fruits and vegetables, like for the people who are vegetarians who want to go that route, even a lot of fruits and vegetables. Like, I mean, when you see a big, huge, shiny apple, it's an apple, but it's been modified and it may have things that are harmful to you. Again, I'll go into that next week. But another thing that people need to understand is, and I actually heard this phrase for the first time maybe earlier this year, maybe last year, but it was very recent, is nutritional efficiency. Now, what that is, you want to I'll get into caloric intake, and if I have time in this video, I'll do it today. But nutritional efficiency essentially is a concept that is like, getting the most nutrients out of your food. Now, junk food has very little nutritional efficiency. If you eat a Twinkie, I don't know how many calories are in a Twinkie. I might look it up by the time I edit this video and put it on the screen. But I don't, it has X amount of calories in it. Now, in that calories, you probably have very little nutrition at all. You want foods where you're getting your vitamins and things that you need for your body, your nutrients, and that is fueling you. You also want to eat to increase your metabolism, because increasing your metabolism, obviously your weight is a combination between burning calories and your caloric intake. You want to increase what you're producing. You want to increase your metabolism, so you're burning more calories. And a lot of times people are caught up in reducing the calories they take in, but that's not always good. I mean, it is good to reduce the calories you take in, but you also have to understand that your body needs a certain amount of caloric intake, which is, I'm sure people have heard of like yo-yo diets, where your weight goes up and down. Where that comes from is, if you starve your body of, whether it's nutrients or anything, and you cause your metabolism to lower, a lot of times you'll lose muscle as well as losing fat. So when you do that, the amount of calories you put out decreases, and the amount of calories you burn in a day decreases. That's not good. You want to increase what you like. I'm gonna say like this: I know several people, and I'm assuming people who watch this may know some of the same people. Well, people like this, or some of the same people, because a lot of the people watching this are my friends back in Michigan. So, but people will have very, very high energy, like they're always on the go, and a lot of times those people are really small. And I'm thinking of somebody in particular. I want to say her name, but I won't, because I don't know if she want her name out there like that. But it like literally, and the person I'm thinking of is like literally in their 30s, and still rocking six pack. Is never. She'll tell you she's never worked out, but she's like really really hyper. She eats trying to gain weight. She eats like a ridiculous amount of food, but she just burns. Now for her that happens to be natural, but there are certain things, certain ways you can eat to increase your metabolism, and those are things that you actually want to do. Now, if you eat the right combinations of food, when you hear people talk about a balanced diet, that's really, really huge, because if you have a balanced diet and you have all the nutrients that you need, it will cause your body to burn more calories. And again, as much as you want to control your intake, the calories you take in, burning calories is huge. So you have to understand and understand how to eat. And again, I'll go over that next week. So, and also another thing I just wanted to touch on today is intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting is a term, and there's different forms of it. Like Terry Crews, the actor, which I assume everybody know, throw his picture up on the screen. Um, he is a big proponent of intermittent fasting. He eats one meal a day, and he works out 7 days a week. I don't agree with working out 7 days a week. I feel you need rest. A lot of other people in fitness, doctors tell you need to rest your body as well. But he works out 7 days a week. And he eats one meal a day between 1 and 2 o'clock. It's just how he does. Obviously, he has a great physique. And his metabolism seems very high, because when you see him acting, and maybe he's just acting, because I will say, like, when you see him in interviews, he's not as energetic, but I'm just going to go under the premise that I believe he has a very high metabolism. So I think that's a big thing. The last thing I'm going to touch on today is your thyroid, because that's a thing. And for those who don't realize, like, there's when it comes to your thyroid, obviously you prefer it to be normal. Then you have the hypo, which is a slower acting thyroid. I guess okay, if you have a thyroid, typically your metabolism will lower. Those people tend to gain a lot of weight. They're really big. And then there's the hyperthyroid. Those people have, become, they lose a lot of fat. Most of the people I personally know who have a hyperthyroid, they have like no body fat. Now, there are people who try to manipulate their thyroid. There are people who are like professional bodybuilders, people who are into fitness, and they try to manipulate their thyroid. And you can do it through food, you can do it through your diet, and things like that. I am against that, but it is a thing that if you want to look into it, I might put some links down below to try to show you foods and things like that could move you towards a hyperthyroid, because that's kind of a big deal, for a lot of people. There are people who swear by it, and they try to keep their thyroid in a hyper state continuously to lose weight or help maintain their weight. So I just wanted to say before I go, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, hit me up. You can hit me up here, message me here, leave a comment down below. I'll respond. Anything other than that, I'll see you next week. Let's get it.